The sun will shine on you wherever you go, wherever you go. And when it gets dark, stay strong. You're never alone. You're never alone. The sun will shine. The sun will shine.
Hey, it's a new day and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that you're here today. We're going to talk about something that I think is very timely. We're headed into a busier season of life for most of us with the holiday season, and sometimes that brings on some overwhelm when you're adding all the extras into an already what feels like full and busy life. And then for myself personally, as the holidays come to an end, I'm looking into having another baby in the winter, and so it just seems like life is about to get busier and fuller, and I thought we could talk about that today as I take you through my week. I have some very specific and I hope helpful tips that will apply to your life, whether you're in a busy season at the moment or you see one coming up and you'd like to prepare and just make the most of it. So I'm popping in here with you on a Sunday after church. We just got home and I am making burgers for lunch. Josh is in his golf clothes because he's headed off to play golf after lunch. That's his perfect way to relax on a Sunday afternoon in this beautiful autumn weather. And I was still in my Sunday clothes because I hadn't taken the time to change. I kind of got distracted with preparing all the things for lunch, but that brings me to my first tip of this video is when you find yourself in a busy season, intentionally plan meals that you can double. And I don't like to put them in the freezer personally because once something goes in the freezer, it just looks half as appealing as it did the first time around. So like for the burgers here, we made double, enough for 2 meals. And when it comes time for supper, either on Monday night or Tuesday night, I kind of like to flip-flop back and forth. Cook maybe Monday and Tuesday, and then eat Monday's leftovers on Wednesday and Tuesday's leftovers on Thursday. This might make you cringe thinking leftovers twice a week, but if you plan your meals intentionally, I promise you can have delicious meals and food that your family is excited to eat the second time around. Who's gonna complain about eating a cheeseburger twice in 1 week? Certainly not anyone in my family. And as you can see, the whole lunchtime prep is not just left up to me. The children know what to do. They know how to set a table, things like that. And I highly recommend not trying to teach new things to your children in a busy season. It can add to the frustration or the chaos, but plan ahead. And if you see a busy season coming up, just such as a new baby or something, try to instill more independence into your kids and teach them new chores or new habits before you enter that busy time. And you will thank yourself so often in the future that you took the time to slow down. You know, teaching children skills takes time and it's often more frustrating than just doing it ourselves, but it is really a gift to yourself and to them as well, teaching them some life skills, independence, all of that for when you do enter a busy season and you're really thankful to have helping hands. This next tip should probably have been my first one, but here I am making an iced latte before I sit down on a Sunday afternoon to plan my week. I made this one a little bit special by crushing up some chocolate and putting that in my espresso cup before I brewed the espresso on top of it. This makes such a delicious chocolatey mocha flavor with your coffee. I used bars from Trader Joe's. When you put the finely chopped chocolate in there, and have your hot espresso on top and then pour that over your cold ice and milk, it makes the chocolate into these tiny little bits, these little ribbons that are floating around in your coffee, and they come up through your straw and you can like bite on them while you're drinking. It is so good and such minimal effort. I definitely think you should try it. You could get the same effect with chocolate chips, but I find the more small you chop your chocolate, the better results you get with those tiny little specks coming up through the straw. So definitely try this version out if you have not. I love this time of the week and I hate when I have to skip it. I rarely do. This is like my normal routine on a Sunday. I'll make lunch, and if Josh is home, I'll go on a walk. Today I could not because he was gone. So I just cleaned up the kitchen and then I made myself an iced latte and sat down to plan my battle strategy for the week. When I sit down to plan my week, I always take into account the weather. I like to make sure that I don't plan my day full of house projects on a beautiful day, especially coming in here to fall and winter. Always prioritize the most beautiful day of the week as your day of the week where you're going to either do outdoor work or go exploring with your children, or just, maybe take it as a little bit slower of a day. And this can work in the reverse in the summertime, the hottest day of the week, maybe plan to be indoors, that type of thing. But I always take into account the weather, and then of course my calendar for the week. And I always keep my phone by me so that I can, as I think of, I need to double check and remind so-and-so they're babysitting the children when I take my oldest to the dentist or something like that, just to remind everyone and get them on the same page. If I have any questions about a play date or anything like that, I can quickly text, clarify, tell people what I'm planning to bring, and just get all my ducks in a row. Sometimes I'll sit there and invite people to specific things, which is always fun. I'll sit there and be like, you know what, this week isn't super full, so I think I'm going to initiate some friend time and plan a little picnic or just a walk or a little get together. But most weeks when I flip to my calendar, it's full enough, and so I'm not usually initiating something, but I do think it is important to carve out time for friendships. And if you have preschoolers, it's always great for them to learn how to interact with other children or cousins that are their age or around their age. Okay, so before I give you some tips for hosting during this busy season, and also one of my favorite recipes lately, I wanted to give a big thank you to Native for sponsoring today's video. There's so many reasons to love Native, whether you just want something that smells really good and adds some luxury to your bubble bath, or if you're looking for clean and simple ingredients, Native has something for you for sure. I love their deodorants, but they also have so many body washes in a variety of scents and even unscented, so you'll definitely find something that you love, probably a lot of things that you will love. The wood splitter guy, he just doesn't stop. So we're gonna keep right on going. Their body wash is phthalate and dye-free, vegan and cruelty-free, and made with a plant-based cleanser. It has citric acid for pH balance to keep your skin ultra happy. And I ordered a couple new scents to try out. Grapefruit and bergamot, of course, I've had before, and I love it. It's like a bright and almost earthy scent at the same time. It just will wake you up. If you are a morning showerer, this is one for you. I also ordered some of their unscented stuff as well. I love their charcoal scent because it is fresh, clean, and it works great for Josh or for me. Charcoal is always one of my all-time favorites. And right now, if you're looking to have a cozy Sunday afternoon holiday themed bubble bath, look no further than Native. They have a whole holiday collection with lots of different scents, and they sent me the candy cane one, so let's smell it. Oh my word, it literally smells like a candy cane. I thought it might smell like toothpaste, mint. Wow, sweet and pepperminty. So there you go if you're looking for a holiday scent from Native. Their body washes bubble up and lather so nicely without any sulfated surfactants. So definitely, this is bubble bath season. Try them out. Where it would normally cost you $27 for 3 body washes, you can get them currently at the moment for 33% off, which comes out to only $18 when you use my link and code. I'll put it here on the screen for y'all. I've been using Native for a long time now, and it's just a go-to. So definitely check it out, and let's get back to the video. Here I am making one of my favorite recipes. It is actually from the King Arthur Flour website, and I love these chocolate chip cookies because there's oatmeal in them and they just have a very unique chewy texture. They're so delicious. But I wanted to talk here about hosting and busy seasons. So when I sit down to plan, maybe like I said, I'm planning that play date or something, going into a busy season like Christmas, it can feel kind of overwhelming, but I highly encourage you to host one thing. Like, put something on your calendar between Thanksgiving and New Year's that you are going to contribute. You're going to invite people over. It feels so good to be invited to something. Maybe we can't always make it, but it feels so nice to be invited. So whether that's just a small charcuterie board party, I did that last Christmas time for one other couple. They just came over and we played cards and ate a little Christmas themed charcuterie board. Or maybe you want to have a full soiree or dinner party at Christmas time, or maybe you want to host New Year's Eve and have people at your house till midnight. I don't know. Whatever your capacity is, I highly encourage you to host one thing between now and January 10th, let's say. One year I hosted a craft party for some ladies and we strung wooden beads together to make wooden bead garlands. I've done this with my aunts and cousins where we made magnolia wreaths. I don't know, there's so many different little ideas. And yes, Christmas time is a busy season, but I think it's important not to just rely on everyone else all the time. But as we're getting, I'm 30 now, I can host something, but I want to be intentional about it. I don't want to overwhelm myself. I don't want to put it on a date that's just going to be too much. Too close to Christmas is just not ideal. Maybe like a December 10th day or something like that, space things out. But I encourage you, make an intentional effort to invite someone into your home, or not even to your home. Maybe you just want to plan a little Christmas caroling get together, or I don't know. It might sound counterintuitive to put more on your plate during a busy season, but I promise you, if you do it with intentionality and with some common sense, and don't compare to everybody on Instagram and stuff, when you do it at your own level, something that you can attain, I promise you'll get more out of it than you put in. Oh, and one last little tip. If you have an extra minute here or there, making baked goods for the freezer is such a good idea. There they sit, ready to go if you get invited to something last minute, you want to take cookies to a neighbor, you're going Christmas caroling and you're supposed to bring a finger food. You have cookies sitting there in your freezer, ready to go. Brilliant. Welcome to the next morning. It is our annual applesauce day. Actually, I shouldn't say annual because I've never actually made applesauce with my mom and sisters before. But today was the day, so I got up early and the kitchen needed a little tender loving care. The floor needed sweeping. I was not about to clean the whole kitchen, but I was crunching on things from the night before, so I decided to tidy up a little bit. And I also made a make-ahead kind of lunch so that we could have lunch on the go while we're making our applesauce. This is definitely one of those go-to meals for me. My children request it and we all love it. I've heard different people call them hobo packets. I just call them cheeseburger packets because that's what I always use. I have burgers on hand in my freezer at all times. So it's just potatoes, carrots, and burgers with some onion, Worcestershire sauce, seasoned salt, salt and pepper, and you just pop them in the oven whenever you're ready. And they cook up super good. You'll see later on that I top them with cheese. And then it was time to get our applesauce day started. We were doing it in a little bit of an experiment. My sister and I each bought 4 baskets, so I think that comes out to 2 bushels of half Golden Delicious and half Cortland. Cortland makes the most beautiful pink applesauce, but it's not as sweet as Yellow Delicious. So our idea was to mix the two together, but before we did that, we wanted to taste both separately and see all 3 variations. And I'll let you know in a little bit which one was our favorite, the mixed or the Golden Delicious or the Cortland. I was really glad to have my mom and sisters there. The verdict is still out for me if making applesauce from scratch is worth it. I would say definitely if you're in a season of life where you're not super busy, go for it for sure. But if it is a busy season, this is definitely one of those things you could cut out. We basically just chopped up all of our apples and put them into roasters or kettles and just tried to get them soft. And we just put a little bit of liquid in the bottom of our kettles instead of water. We heard the trick to use apple cider so that you don't lose any flavor, and it was really good. And then my sister brought her Victorian strainer, and we used that to process the apples. Basically, the whole apple is going in here, minus the little bottom and the stem. We made sure we got those off. My sister brought homemade sourdough bagels for breakfast, so we were eating good this morning. The children played together so nicely this whole time, outside, inside, wherever. And so a tip that I would have if you are in a busy season is invite a friend to help you with a chore or a family member. You can get your chores done. You can also hang out together at the same time. This worked really well because we had 2 adults that were there that didn't bring any children to the party. If you have 4 women coming and they each have 3 kids, it's going to be a crazy circus. But yeah, if you have single friends or a mom or sister that doesn't have kids, they are gems. Ask if they want to come along and help too. And it can be a great fun day of socializing and productivity together. I guess you could call it kind of like a work bee. I think of like sewing circle and times gone by that people would do where they get together and sew. We should bring those back, I think. But definitely batching something for the year is a great way to prepare for busy seasons in the future. I know that this applesauce will get eaten by my children and possibly the baby. It's crazy to think that we'll have 4 children eating applesauce within the next 12 months, Lord willing. Just incredible. Once we tasted all the different versions of our applesauce, we definitely agreed that even though the Yellow Delicious makes the ugliest applesauce, it also makes the tastiest. It was just so sweet and so good. We did not add any sugar to any of the varieties, but I think we each went home with a couple jars of Cortland, a couple jars of Yellow Delicious, and then most of our jars were the mixed version. So slightly pink, just a little bit. I have heard the tip that you can run blueberries through the Victorian strainer with your apples, and that will make things a little more colorful if you're looking for a color. But guys, I don't serve applesauce to guests really. It's just something I have for the kids. Josh will break into the applesauce maybe once or twice a year and pour it over his chocolate cake with peanut butter icing. I know, I don't understand, but for the most part, the applesauce is just a kid thing, and they don't mind if it's brown, trust me. And since I was a couple jars short of filling a canner, I decided to take the rest of my applesauce and freeze it in quart boxes. I kind of want to see if my kids like it warm from the can or slushy out of the freezer. I've had both ways and they're all good. And then it was time for lunch. I just topped the cheeseburger packets with cheese and put them back in the oven for a little bit till the cheese was melted, and we sat down and had our lunch. I was very impressed. We were all done with our applesauce, even with 5 kids, by lunchtime. I think one of my favorite things about being a homemaker is that I get to be my own boss. It sounds kind of strange to say, but really it's true. We get to do what we see in front of us, what we want to do. We're really not accountable to anyone for our time. If our husband gets home at the end of the day, he's not, cracking the whip and wondering what we've been doing all day. At least mine's not. But I think you can definitely tell the temperature of your home and just the whole attitude of it is much benefited when we actually do get our chores done. And when we're going into a busy season, I think it's good to have established routines that we can fall back on and almost go into autopilot. Sure, it's fun being your own boss and you can change it up every day, but let's just face the facts. Some things just work better. And when you find those things, those ruts, those grooves, those routines, stick with them, especially in the busy seasons. Don't get super creative. Just do what works. And for your family, that may look completely different than for me or for your sister or your neighbor down the street. For me, I have a routine of doing laundry every day. I tried it out and I loved it and I never went back. I've tried cleaning routines that did not work for me, but I think the whole point here is just if you know you're going to be heading into a busy season, but you're not quite there yet, use this time to create rhythms and strategies in your home. It actually helps not just you, but your children as well. They like to know what to expect. And sure, there's definitely a time in life for shaking things up, but I don't think that's when we feel overwhelmed or busy or just have a lot on our plates at the moment. So let those comforting routines and rhythms just kind of help you out in a season like that. I am just folding the laundry for the day and tidying up my room. My room, I'm still loving it so much. It has been furnished by Cacalico Creek. They're a beautiful home store in my area and I'm so excited to do my Christmas shopping with them. And they do have a limited selection online, but if you're ever in the area, I highly recommend shopping there in person. It's truly an experience all its own. And then going along with establishing rhythms and routines, I want to talk about leaving the home. Here I am bringing a Walmart grocery order in and just putting everything away. And something that helps me not to dread the errands so much. In fact, we run errands pretty often. I like to leave the house sometime throughout the day, whether that means just, a walk or playing outside. A lot of times it does mean errand running, and the way I've learned to not dread this so much, sure, I have most of the time have only 2 little guys, but they're pretty helpless little guys. But what helps me is to have a get out the door routine. We know where our shoes are, they're in a bin in the laundry, we know where our jackets are, our hats are supposed to be on the pegs. Fletcher knows to get his water bottle ready before we leave and to put on his socks, coat, shoes. Super nice. And then I just have to help the 1-year-old out. So it's kind of like going on autopilot again. We don't have to struggle through every single step just to get out the door. Granted, I still probably take almost 15 minutes till I load up everything we need. If we need like the stroller, the bikes, the helmets, all the things, returns, maybe the grocery bags, whatever. But having that routine definitely helps take some stress off. And whether you're the self-proclaimed adventure mom like me or more of a homebody, I think having a get out the door routine will help everyone. So if you're not in a busy season yet, maybe establish this one now, get it ready to go. Take a little bit of time to workshop it, have a little boot camp is what I like to say, and just have the kids practice so they know what they're doing. You can even do a get out the door checklist if you want. I'm not for all of that. But hey, maybe there's an idea for another printable for me to design. I can never have enough printables. So towards the beginning of this video, I was talking about how it's super important to plan your week and to just figure out a battle strategy, especially going into busy seasons. But I think it's also super important to look big picture when it comes to Christmas time or birthdays. What is actually important to you? In this age of social media, you're never doing enough. I don't care how much money you're spending, how much time you're spending, it's still never going to be enough, compared to somebody else, depending who you are looking at and what you are consuming. So I like to think about what is important to my family. What do we care about? What are the things that are actually special and that my children will remember in the future? And then prioritize those. Everything else is just unnecessary or extra or a bonus if it does happen. My baby turned 2 this week, and so here I am decorating the light. This is a tradition that we do. I'll actually just tell you quickly our birthday traditions. It's really, really simple. I'll do a birthday party if I'm feeling like it, if I'm in the mood, but this was not going to be a time for that. We're going to be hosting next weekend too, so I just didn't feel like having a big old birthday party, but no matter what, we always decorate the light with lots of streamers. Fletcher was into helping out, and he even decorated the high chair a little bit, but we always do that. We sing happy birthday multiple times a day. We put candles in all the food all day long, breakfast too. And party hats are a really easy thing to do as well. And then of course the birthday presents. That's always the best part. My friend, she goes to Dollar Tree and gets a balloon for the birthday person every year. And I think that's a really cute tradition. I don't do that. Personally, I feel like, oh my goodness, if I truck my 2 boys into the Dollar Tree and only get one a balloon, I don't know how that would go down. But also, I am a firm believer that you don't get gifts for the non-birthday kids. It's a special day for the birthday boy. And I know it would be fun to put a candle in everybody's food. But sorry, Fletcher, you'll get your special day. And today is Miller's special day. I also usually make a cake for my kids myself. I enjoy doing that. And this one was super, super simple. We love chocolate cake. And I like to use a wacky cake recipe. I'll put the recipe down below. It's a very simple old recipe. And I never have problems with it being dry. I think that's why I like this one so much. It is designed to be a simple mix it in the 9x13 pan style of recipe, but I'm turning this into some layered cakes and a few cupcakes as well. I always like to have a couple cupcakes if possible so that some of us adults don't have to be crunching on all the kid sprinkles, if you know what I mean. But I didn't really keep the cake a secret. Miller wanted to be involved and watch, and I was like, sure, go for it. But basically I'm adding 6 holes here and pouring different ingredients into those holes, vanilla, vinegar, and then you pour water over the whole thing and just stir it all together. It really is super simple. But I encourage you to start thinking about what is important to your family when it comes to birthdays or holidays, and maybe even ask them, see what they think. What do they remember from last Christmas? I know going into the Christmas season, I am really excited to, one, get our Christmas tree. It's my favorite thing. The kids get to ride around in a horse-drawn carriage or a tractor-drawn wagon, whatever, and it's just super fun. It's something I didn't do as a kid, so I think it's extra special to me, and they often talk about it as well. But something else they always bring up is how we go Christmas light. Peeping, is that the word? I don't know. We go drive around, look at Christmas lights, drink hot chocolate. And this year I'm excited. We got 3D glasses that are supposed to make the light display look 3D. So we will see how that looks. You can find them on Amazon. I got those at Cracker Barrel of all places. And a confession here, I bought this Amish made icing because it just makes things so much easier. You can buy a big gallon tub of it for, I believe, $13 was it? And it will last, I used not even half of it on this cake. And there's plenty left in the fridge. I love to use this icing recipe. I get it from E.K. Martin, but there's different places you can get it. On whoopie pies, it makes it so good. But yeah, make your own icing if you want, whatever. I just was taking shortcuts because it was a busy week. And honestly, I made much prettier cakes in the past, but you know what? Cute and simple was fine as well. And Miller has been so into Josh's truck. Josh bought a new truck this year and he was all into it. He even says truck in a low voice. He's like, Dada's truck. It's so cute. Anyway, sorry to cringe you out there, but it's adorable. So when we found this little replica, perfect replica of Josh's truck, I knew we had to put this on top. And he was begging to have it all day. I should not have let him see it because he really wanted it. And I'm like, nope, you're gonna have to wait. And then you'll see here at the end when I let him take it off, he's so devastated because there's icing on the wheels and you just can't have that. So we had to clean that up for him very quickly. And yeah, it was a great little topper and perfect for him in this stage of life. And to make the peanut butter icing for these cupcakes, I literally just added some scoops of peanut butter and whipped it together into the regular icing, and that's our peanut butter icing. We also had a little pizza party for supper. Ivani was all excited about making pizza. And then it was gift opening time. Oh my goodness, everybody has to get involved when it's a 2-year-old's birthday. But I was telling Josh that 1-year-old birthday parties are all about the cake smash. And I feel like 2-year-old birthday parties are so fun because they're finally old enough to notice the gifts, open the gifts, interact with the gifts, show appreciation. It's just really fun at this stage. And I know some people say terrible twos, but in my experience, I like the 2-year-olds. It's the 3-year-olds you gotta watch out for.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miller. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, blow them out, blow them out. Yeah, blow it out. Yay! Okay, you want the truck? Do you want to pick the truck off?
Yeah, pick
Go
it
ahead,
up.
you may touch the truck.
You may touch it.
You may get it. Pick it off.
Pick it off.
Oh. What do you think? It truly is such a revitalizing and rich season, if you ask me. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it gave you some food for thought. Let me know in the comments something that you found interesting, fascinating, maybe not new or novel, maybe it was just a reminder that, oh yeah, you've been meaning to try that. I would love to hear, I'd love to know how helpful this video was, and if you'd like me to expound on any of these tips or other things that you'd like to see from me in the future. I hope you're able to savor this season with your loved ones. And as we head into a more commonly known busy season of the holidays, I pray and hope that you can find balance and also appreciate the little daily joys that are in your life. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.
The sun will shine on you wherever you go, wherever you go. And when it gets dark, stay strong. You're never alone. You're never alone. The sun will shine. The sun will shine.
We'll all sit back at the same time. Ready, set, woohoo! Woohoo! Oh, they smell like leaves. This is so nostalgic.